Looking for love in Sosua? Maybe you should consider getting a dog or adopting a kid.
Regalo para rico.toro.
Que la que hay, mi gente? Rico.toro. Hope everybody's well, wherever you are. So, shout out Alex. Shout out Alex from New Jersey. Brother Army vet, visiting down here for a little bit. And much love, much respect. Appreciate the bottle of Barcelo. Just for him showing he appreciates what I do and my info and insight. Real life experiences. Personal observations, if you knew and didn't know. Hit that sub, thumbs up. Rico Toro. So, couple of things. Three main things. Stop the name dropping. Don't be name dropping. All right? Hoes can have preferences too, number 2. And give another man a little bit of distance to finish his business before you try to step up to who he's finishing or doing business with. So, last part is kind of for the rookies. So, anyways, this stems from recent events, in my life, personal experiences and things I've seen, as always. So, recently, a couple of weeks ago, a friend saw me chatting it up with the young lady and asked me the other day, he showed me a picture of her online and says, "Is this so-and-so you were talking to that night?" And I said, "Yes." And he says, "Do you mind, what's up with her? You mind I take a shot at her?" And I said, "Nah, do your thing. I don't need to know about it. Just do your thing. I'm not going to help you. Everybody's grown. They got to do their own thing. So, plus if it goes left, she's pointing the finger at me, he's pointing the finger at me." So I said, "Nah, do your own thing. I don't need to know." So, next thing I know, I'm getting a text today from the chick, and she says, while out yesterday, some guy approached me and he says, blah, 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 "I'm Johnny. I'm a friend of Rico's." And she said, right away in that moment, she decided she's not going to mess with him. He's a young, fairly handsome looking guy and everything. So nothing to do with that. But just the principle of he started with dropping my name. And, that usually backfires because she's not about that. She doesn't need to know she doesn't need to know that he knows someone else that she's been with. Granted, I'm not her first, won't be her last, but she doesn't need to know what he knows. So, and then, on the flip side of that, I'm kind of like, had he just approached straight up and said, "Hey, I'm Johnny, nice to meet you, blah, 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 you're looking lovely tonight, que va conmigo, mamá, vámonos, and she would have said, "Okay, let's go," and she would have rocked him. I'm certain she would have. So, in a way, I'm glad that he fumbled the ball and dropped my name. Another situation, a friend of mine sends me a picture of someone today, a lady, and asked, "Do I know her?" First, I'm thinking, I don't think so. And like, is her name Michelle or something? He's like, "No." And then a little later, he tells me the name, and I'm like, I don't think I know her. And then I thought about it a minute, and I said, actually, I do know who she is. And I say, yeah, actually, a friend of mine hooked up with her in Allenby one night, and we were hanging out. And that's how I know her. And I said, very pretty girl, nice body, everything, seemed chill. But I wasn't going to mention the friend's name because he knows him also. And Our friend is like 20 some years younger, in shape, has all his hair, blah, blah, blah. The other guys seen better days. And so what could have happened next if I did say, Georgie, the guy Georgie we know, he hooked up with her. Well, if he's got Georgie's number, he might reach out to Georgie and be like, Georgie, what'd you get her for? What'd you give her? Blah, blah, blah. How was it? Did she do this or that? Swing from the chandeliers? Hit you with a baseball bat? What did she do? And then he would have reached back to the girl and been like, hey, let's try to set something up. She was also from San Pedro. I remember the name of the city. I'm good with remembering the cities and matching a face too. So anyways, when it's not your normal Santo Domingo, Santiago or something. So anyways, he could be the type guy to reach out to the girl and be like, this is what I'm gonna offer you, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, absolutely not. Possibly, probably. And he's like, I don't see why not. That's what Georgie gave you. Again, name dropping, dry snitching. That's not cool, man. Which ties into my second point. The ladies have a preference sometimes. Not all, some can't afford to, but they have a preference. It is what it is. I've been shot down before. I've been told no. Maybe, they tell me no all the time because they think I know too much Spanish and I'm too much work for too little benefits. So they have a preference. And some guys want to believe that there's a one size fits all. And that's not the case. I do believe some guys that they go to Asia a lot, Thailand, Philippines, Cambodia, and they talk about how they're treated like a king there. I don't doubt it for 1 minute. They probably are. I think that's just customary. But I also believe that to a lesser degree, they have preferences and options to say no there. Maybe the competition is so fierce. Maybe the struggle, the hustle, life, maybe it's that much harder. I do not know. But I feel like they just are not as free to make up their decision and make their own choice between their options as they are here in Sosua. So, some girls will tell you no, or they will tell you a much inflated number. Sometimes it just translates to, well, point blank, she don't want to fuck you. It is what it is at the local eye. I don't make the rules, but I know what they are. I know the codes. I know how they think a little bit. Sometimes I'm right. So, another thing on that is, or if they see, or if you're talking about a top shelf or even middle of the road, Dominican or Venezuelan that sees you around frequently and sees you with bottom feeders, especially if they're bottom feeder Haitians, because they're already discriminating against them. But if not saying it's right or fair, but it happens, that. So if they see you with typically what they believe is a much lower class type of girl, they're gonna be like, I don't want that guy. I don't want that dude. It is what it is. So they have preferences. And lastly, if you're staying at Casa Valeria or New Garden or Bailey's, Sosua Inn, or anywhere else, Di Piero, Las Palmeras Hotel, you're on your vacation and you see some brother walking a girl out that he just finished with, or even worse, meeting the girl and she's just coming in. Don't roll up on that brother while he's still with the girl. Don't roll up on the girl while she's with that dude. Respect her business and his business. You know, I would say, don't roll up like, hey, bro, what'd you give her? Hey, bro, how was she? Don't do that, especially if you don't know that dude. If you know the dude and y'all are tight and can joke, cool. But even so, that's still kind of disrespectful to her. You know, they don't do that. The girls don't do that each other usually. Usually, you know, they keep a little bit of respect for the code, each other's work. Some, not all. Some of them are a little kind of, a little rogue out there. So, anyways, wait till that chick steps out of the gate. And then when she's waiting on the motor contra, approach her. Or maybe ask the dude the situation like, hey, bro, if you don't mind me asking, what's up with her? Would you mind I take a stab at it? Would you, and if he's cool, would you mind passing me her number, etc.? Or you go get it from her directly as she's leaving. But you don't roll up on dudes like that, especially if you don't know them. Because for one thing, he might have been dealing with that girl 6 years. I mean, yeah, he's paid her. Yeah, it's not his girl. It was just his turn. Well, he might have been taking a lot of turns over 6 years, and they might have some unusual arrangement or whatever to where, he's not going to enable her to set up her future business, and she's not going to do her future business in front of him. Every situation's different. So allow the man and the woman, allow them a little distance to finish their business before you push up with your business. So, rico.t.toro, out.